Clancy the cat gets a love memorial with an interesting color choice from his past. Hi, today on Vibrant Wood Creations, I'm making a memorial for Clancy. This piece of hard maple has already been machined to the right size for another memorial some time ago, so I can jump right into its special feature. This board is figured. You can see the striped effect, especially on the right side of the board. There are 5 types of figuring for maple, but only 3 actual abnormalities in the wood. The first atypical growth pattern tends to happen when a limb is put under great stress, and the wood fibers get kind of bent and don't grow quite straight. This reflects the light differently, creating a striped or quilted effect. If these reflective stripes are wider and spaced apart, usually the terms curly or flame are used. This is what this board features, and you can already see this effect without sanding or finishing, both of which will highlight it. If the reflective stripes are very thin and close together though, we call this fiddleback, and indeed the backs of many stringed instruments feature this as decoration. Here is an example. As you visually enjoy the CNC machining process, I'll break in with further examples of figuring in wood. Another reflection pattern looks like 3-dimensional tufts or pillows in the wood, leading to the term quilted maple. It can be stunning, and the backs of many high-end guitars feature this wood in bright colors. Here's an example. We are now on to bird's eye maple, the second growth abnormality. How this effect happens isn't totally understood. The theory is that the tree believes that it has to put out lots of little branches, but then gives up on them immediately. After many cycles, these tiny oval inclusions can look like this. The final abnormalities have great marketing teams, because they are just fancy words for rot. Rot is when a fungus or bacteria gets into organic matter and eats it. This sounds bad, but I'm willing to bet that you like rot under some conditions. I certainly do. Lots of cheeses carefully control this process to develop extra flavor, as well as some fermented foods. In wood, if fungus starts to eat the dead tree just enough to cause patterns of staining in the wood, we call it spalted. This can occur in lots of types of trees, but in maple it stands out because the wood is such a light color. Spalting is a balancing act, though. Enough spalt to make it pretty, too much, though, and your wood falls apart. Here are some examples. The last type of figuring is also based on fungus eating the wood. This is the beautifully named ambrosia maple. This time, though, it happens when the tree is alive, and the ambrosia beetle climbs in and has an extended snack, all the while leaving a fungal trail from the nasties that live on its legs. Here's an example. Not to be too philosophical about it, but one cannot help but notice that people find wood with abnormal growth patterns and unique surface markings to be highly desirable. The same is true for our pets. The more distinctive and unique, the better. However, when those same elements occur in a person, they are not usually treated as rare and precious. In fact, it's quite the opposite most of the time. While you ponder that, it would be a good moment to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you enjoy your light entertainment time being interrupted with thought-provoking wood metaphors. Moving back to this memorial, the CNC machine continues to do its work. This footage is significantly sped up so you can see rapid progress. I used 2 different bits for this, the wider one for most of the carving and the much smaller one for the heart. The top and the bottom of the heart are too narrow for the wider bit, so at some point I stopped the process and swapped for this more intricate work. Once I'm finished, I am on to resin pouring. This memorial is for Clancy the cat, a stray who wandered into the owner's work one day, a middle school in California. Dirty and hungry, he was found curled up in the principal's chair. He wisely complied with directions around noon when the boss lady needed her chair to have a chat with an unrepentant urchin in her office. By the end of the day, there was competition for who would get to take the sweet but scruffy cat home. The school banker became his new family. This brings us to the color choices. The banker chose pink as it is her favorite color, but with a green paw print to remind her of one memorable evening her and Clancy had together. Though it can be a polarizing issue, Clancy was an indoor-outdoor cat and reliably came home for dinner every evening, and to ensure he did not become dinner himself. One night, he never came home. Around midnight, the owner heard the cries of her cat quite close, and with the help of a flashlight and her tiptoes discovered where he had gone. Her neighbor had a pool, but fundamentally didn't believe in what we might call maintenance. So after many years and rainy days, the pool had become an urban swamp, complete with plants, bugs, and ample green muck. Clancy had fallen in and couldn't make his way back up the steep, slippery slope from the deep end. Wasting no time, our intrepid owner engaged in some light breaking and entering to get stankified Clancy back. Clancy was now marsh green, so they had a midnight bath, hence the color of the paw. Here are some photos of Clancy post-pool incident. He lived until age 14-ish. You never quite know with a stray. To achieve visible cremains in this memorial, I poured it in layers. The bottom layer is pink. After it's solidified, I arranged the cremains on top, then poured a clear layer over it. After sanding and finishing, this is the final product. The cremains are clearly visible, and the light reflection effect of the curly maple has been enhanced. I'm moving an extra light around in hopes that you can see it a bit better. This memorial turned out great, and I like the green paw print. It's a really good detail. I hope none of your pets ever need a memorial, but if that wish isn't granted, I will craft a beautiful one just for you. Thank you for watching.